Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you're at in the world. Thank you so much for joining me today. And before I start, I just wanted to go over a few things regarding the members area and everything, because I know there was a few people having trouble with it. So in the Facebook group, now when you go on your mobile device, it's going to look a little bit different, I've found. And so the pinned post on top doesn't always show up correctly on the mobile version, but when you're on your desktop version, it's right at the top, which, bear with me while this loads. I can just click the shortcut. So right up here, there is a this post right here. It has all the webinar schedules, and if you click see more right here, you got the webinar registration for all the live trainings. And then if you click this link right here, it'll take you to the members area where you can log in. And then I've already created an account, but go ahead and create your account, and then you can, if you're already a member, you can click login now, and this will take you to all of the videos. And right in here, you just click play, and then you can also go down here to the Facebook ad hacks, and it'll take you right here. Now, I know some people have had a so let me just make sure this works while we're on here live, because I know some people have been having trouble getting onto the live webinar. Yep. And then it'll email you with the correct link when you come in. So today is December 11th from 2 to 3 p.m. And so let's jump into the lookalike audiences here. And so today, last week, we did the lookalike audiences on Friday and the custom audiences. And so today, we are going to re-go over that. And if you have any questions about any of the lookalike audiences, just let me know. I know it can be pretty confusing sometimes, but this, it was one of the hardest things for me to understand. But once I got it, it's extremely powerful on Facebook with the lookalike audiences. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to do a retargeting campaign and how to build your own audiences so that you don't have to use Facebook's custom audiences. So we're just going to create a campaign here. And I started doing it earlier just to test, but and Facebook right now, it's not letting me post any videos, so I'm not going to be able to actually post the video for you, but I'm going to show you. I know I've gone over posts a lot, so hopefully you know how to post by now. So we're just going to, I'm going to show you my technique. So what I like to do is there's a couple different campaign objectives in here that I like to use for videos. So you can do video views or post engagement. Now the video view campaign, that is that will let you that will have your customers view the video for a longer amount of time. So when you're doing a post engagement campaign objective, that what post engagement does is it gets you more views and it gets you likes and shares, but it doesn't necessarily get you longer views. And because somebody might only watch your video for like 3 seconds, and it counts as a view if they watch it for 3 seconds, which is good because it adds to our view count. But especially in a retargeting campaign, we want somebody to view the whole video. So we're going to hit video views, and we're going to do 2 campaigns here. We're going to do name it VV for video views, and we'll just do baseball. Now, say you had a baseball bat that you were selling, or you could sell like a baseball t-shirt. Let's say you were selling a baseball t-shirt. Well, what you want to do is you want to find an extremely passionate baseball audience. And what you can do is find a video, or I would prefer to find about 10 videos and post all 10 and see which one does better, because sometimes you post a video and it just doesn't do well. So you want to post a video, you want to post multiple videos and see which one does the best out of all 10. And so once you do that, you post your videos, create a campaign, and even if you just did $5 a day on this campaign and $5 a day on another campaign for post engagement, that's only about $100 or $300 for the month. $10 a day, and by the end of that month, you'll probably have close to 1 million views or more, hopefully, on your video. Hopefully, you'll have a few million views. And then we can retarget the people that have watched over 75% of that video in order to retarget them with an actual product. Now, the benefit of that is that we know that if they've watched 75% of our video, they really like baseball, especially if we have a baseball video. Like, you could do like a greatest hits video, like best hits in baseball, or like the coolest plays ever made, or maybe like just anything about baseball that would be viral and engaging. Now we're going to go into ad set. We're just going to do a few things here. So we're going to adjust this to $5 a day, and then scroll down. And for detailed targeting, we can do baseball. For the video, we have to do targeting. For the image later on, we want to just do an image. But what you can do is you could have, let's say, 10 baseball products retargeting the same video and see which product does better. You got to always try things more than once. If you're trying for the least amount of work, it's not necessarily going to work. Shopify and e-commerce is a front-loaded business, so you do a lot of the work up front, and then after you've done the work, you let the money kind of come in after that. So we're going to do baseball. We're going to narrow the audience with Major League Baseball. And then we can even narrow further. And what I like to do is use a few of these target audiences. One's called Unilad. It's a viral type of Facebook interest group. An LAD Bible. We can do 9gag. 9gag. And then BuzzFeed. These are interest groups that are very viral, so they're going to like viral type of posts. It's one of the tricks that I use for a lot of the videos that I do. And then we'll do edit placements because we only want it to be shown to certain placements that convert the best. And you can feel free to split test this on your own, but in my experience, the best platform to do is Facebook on feeds. Now you can do Instagram too, but you're going to want to do a separate post for Instagram versus Facebook because it's two different type of audiences. Now 5 million is usually about as many people as I like to go on a video. On an image, you want to stick to about 1 to 2 million people. But once we do only when connected to Wi-Fi, there's going to be some of these devices that don't get hit. So 5.7 million is just fine. And then we're done. And then you'd go into here to your ad, or actually let's name this. We do baseball, crossed with viral. And then you can go into ad, and then you're going to launch your ad right here. Create new page post, and then you just post your video. Now what you can also do is once you post your video, you can for your video, you can do like a learn more button, and you can send them to an opt-in page so that you can gather their email list, and you could say learn more about all the coolest baseball techniques, or you could go find an affiliate program somewhere on JVZoo or ClickBank or something, and then once you have people watching your video, you put a button in there that sends them to an email opt-in page, and then once you have their email, you can send them emails about baseball stuff. And if let's say you could build 10,000 emails for $300 and then retarget them based on, because out of a couple million views, you should be able to get 10 million or 10,000 emails, and then you just send them emails a couple times a week, 3 to 5 times a week, and each subscriber on your email list should be about worth $1 per subscriber. And just a sample email opt-in would be something like this. This is a quick, simple email opt-in that you can do. This was a client that I was working for, and we didn't have a product yet, so we wanted to build an email list, and so we sent customers here for their email. It was a CBD product, and so we sent them here, gathered their email lists, and that's what we did. and it worked out really well. So then you want to make a page, of course. So I had made a page here earlier. Really easy to do, by the way. Once you have your business manager set up, you go to add new pages, create a new page, and then you can create a page right here from the business manager. And I always do brand or product, and then the category doesn't really matter that much. And then all you have to do is add a profile picture and a cover photo, just like your Facebook profile that you have. And then we want to go into audiences to build our, so actually, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the campaign, or the ad set, I should say. So let me delete this, the first campaign that I made, so we're on the same page. Don't get mixed up here. So in this example, we want to create two campaigns, one for video views, one for post engagement. So now that we've made this ad set, and assume that we made 10 different ads here for the ad set, and I show that in the split testing campaign, or the split testing video, we're going to duplicate this. We're going to duplicate it to a new campaign. You can do the original campaign, old campaign, or a new campaign. So we're going to do a new campaign. We're going to do a post engagement campaign. We're going to type in PPE. We're going to do the exact same thing, baseball. But it's a page post engagement campaign versus a video view campaign. And then the only thing you're going to need to change is, if you scroll all the way down here, go to optimization for ad delivery and hit post engagement. And this will get you your post engagement versus the video views, which is for the video view campaign. That's why it's not showing up here anymore. You can do impressions too. The only time I like to optimize for impressions is when I'm doing like a local campaign or a very small audience, because especially if you're doing a local campaign, you just want to create brand awareness. That's more what the impression optimization is for. But I have had, if you just want to get a lot of cheap video views, and you're not worried about how long they watch it for, maybe for your first 100,000, just to get to that first 100,000 video views really quick, you can optimize for impressions, and then as long as you have the only one connected to Wi-Fi, you're going to be getting views for extremely, extremely cheap. It's crazy how cheap you can get it. It's you get charged per, you optimize just to show your video to somebody. They don't care if they get likes, shares, it just doesn't matter. They just want to show your ad to as many people as possible. Especially for local campaigns, impressions is a good way. Or if you have a high converting, very high converting ad set, you can do impressions because it's going to show it to more people, but it's just not as well targeted people, if that makes sense. So, and again, if you have any questions, I'll be getting to the questions periodically. I want to make sure that I give you guys as much value as possible, but like I said, I know that this can get really, really confusing. So we're going to go into my ad account. And then we're going to create an audience, custom audience. And then what you want to choose for this is engagement. And then you have all these different ways to get engagement on your video, or to target based on engagement. We're going to do video. Now, I like to split test 75% and 50%. So I do two custom audiences, one at 75%, one at 50%. So then you go in here to choose videos. And I didn't post the video because I just want to show you how to do the custom audiences for now. And if we did all the videos, you can see how to split test all the different videos on the split testing campaign. Or I'm sorry, the split test, I'm talking about campaigns, the split testing video. So you would go into your baseball page, and you always want a page per niche that you're in. So then you would select your videos, and you just go in, select which videos you want. So like for instance, we can use our imaginations, and you could just select whatever videos you think. And you can see how many video views here, but it doesn't mean that people viewed them for 75% or more, because some people just view the video for 3 seconds and then click off. But if they view for 75% of the video, they're really, really engaged in that video. So then you would choose your videos, and you can even do multiple pages, multiple videos. You do all 10 videos that you did, even if some of them only have a few views on it. Then you would do, I like to do 180 days, because ideally you would let these videos play for a very long time, and then the more shares they get, you can get organic traffic, just like this video that I did. I only spent $16 on the video. I think it's gotten close to 1 million impressions now for just 16 bucks. So it's this video right here. Yep, 1 million impressions. For 340,000 views on this video because of all the shares that it got from being a page post engagement video. See, I only paid for 40,000, and I've gotten almost 1 million people for free that it reached. And then that gets you free page likes on your page, gets you more. You can now I retarget these people with an image based on the product that I'm showing in the video. Let me just get rid of these. Okay, so now we're going to, so now we have 2 campaigns, and then what you would do for your third campaign to retarget, and I would leave these running. I would start retargeting once you have about 10,000 views on the video, and retarget just at about $1 or $3 a day, and then you can slowly increase the more views you get, but you don't want to spend $5 a day if you only have 10,000 views, because you're going to pay too much per link click, because you don't have a large enough audience at that time. Once you start getting a few million views on your video, you're going to have your own audience, say of 1 million people that have watched 75% of your video. Now you don't have to use Facebook's interest groups. You've literally just built your own audience on Facebook, which is extremely, extremely powerful. I know some people, this is the only way that they market on Facebook. They do a video, let it run for a week or two, and then once they run it, then they retarget based on the people that have watched that video, and it's extremely, extremely powerful. So we're gonna, so now we create a new campaign, and we're gonna do a traffic ad. Now you can do a conversion ad too if you have Pixel set up, but a traffic or a conversion ad, either one can work for this. So now you would name this traffic, retarget baseball. And then, like I said, just start out with $1 a day. That's all it takes. And you already want video views on this in order to start. And then right up here where it says custom audiences, don't do the detailed targeting, just do custom audience. And then you can target the people that the custom. Don't make a lookalike audience unless you do 95%. If you want to do the 95%, like in here, you can choose 95% of your video. You can build a lookalike audience based off of that, because that might work. And then I would just build a lookalike audience based off the 95% watch, and then so like do this, because not very many people are going to watch your video to completion. It takes about 30 minutes to do that. And then expand your audience. Now you can build a lookalike audience based off people that have viewed 90%. Then you can go back into Power Editor here, take this, and then now run the same video that you did on these ones to this. But we would just do a custom 75% watch and then split test it with 50% watch. And then let's say you had like an AliExpress. You could target something like this. I would choose something maybe a little bit cheaper than this. I like trying to find products under $10. Those are baseball hats. A lot of these are going to be baseball hats. What if I do baseball ball? Yep, here we go. It should be pretty cheap. $6. It has a watermark on it, so I might not use something like that. But something like this is a perfect image to use. I don't know if it'll recognize my page yet about baseball. I might have to refresh. Does anyone have any questions so far? I want to make sure. I know this can be a little bit confusing. So Parody asks, how long after you run the videos can you set up the custom audience? You can do it immediately, but you at least need 20 people in your custom audience to create your custom audience. So typically I wait about 5 days or even a week sometimes because I don't want to start spending money until I have at least 10,000 people in my custom audience. And so sometimes that can take up to a week, sometimes a little longer, sometimes a little bit less. It just depends on how viral your video is. So let's see if it shows up. There we go, baseball batters. And then we're not going to do Instagram page. And then we want to go grab some emojis. And let's see what we can find. Let's do a finger. So I do it just about every time. If it's not broken, why fix it, right? We can get boring after a while to do the same thing, but that's how we still get to do a new video all the time. So I always like to do what works, and I go off of data. So the data is telling me that it keeps working, I'm going to keep doing it. And I thought there was a baseball bat, maybe not. Well, let's just get the championship. And then for the link, I would just go to Google Shortener. Hopefully you have this on your Shopify store before you do this. But I'm just going to demonstrate with the AliExpress link. Grab the link from your product and then put it into Google Shortener, shorten URL. And then copy and paste the link in there. And then we're going to copy and paste this. Save unpublished post. And now we have an image. And then you track it with your Facebook pixel. Make sure you do that. Now for the add a button, I only like to do buttons on the videos, but I have seen a lot more buttons lately from the people that I follow, and so I've been split testing it. I've still found that buttons work the best on videos, and it's better to just put your link in the post itself instead of having a button, unless you're going to do like a email opt-in, and then you can just say learn more and then do an email opt-in instead of an actual link to a product. But I would put this to your actual product page on Shopify. And then so we have that. So yeah, so now that's a retargeting campaign. That's exactly how it works. And then you can start raising this by 20% per every 48 hours. If you only change the budget by 20%, that's the only thing that you can change on a post without it affecting any of the optimization quality of the post. If you switch this from $1 to $100 instantly, it's going to reverse the optimization. You'll probably start paying a lot more per conversion. But if you slowly start stepping it up by 20% every day and it continues to be profitable, then you're still in business. And what I like to do is look at lifetime, but then also look at the last 3 days of the ad to make sure that it's still profitable over the last 3 days, so that it didn't just maybe it's profitable overall, but you don't want to get back, you don't want to spend so much money on the ad that eventually it has actually cost you money to run that ad. So when it stops being profitable, you want to cut it, because some ads last for a couple weeks, some ads last for a month, some a few months, some even a year or two. But not all ads last forever. So you want to cut it before it stops not being profitable for you. So Parody asks, where do you go to see how many in the audience before you set up a custom audience? You won't know until you set up that audience how many people are in the 75% watch. But I would say once you have 10,000 views on your video, which you can just go into page posts, click on the video, and it'll tell you right here. Once you have 10,000 views on your video, you can just make your custom audience and then just monitor it. Just go into here and it dynamically updates. So as you get more views, it'll get higher and higher, and you can just check the size every day. until you have about a 10,000 size audience in order to retarget. You can do it less. I'm not saying, like I said, there's you always try stuff out. I'd rather have you try stuff than not try it because I said not to. Try stuff out. Just don't spend too much money trying new techniques out. Whenever I learn a new strategy, I always micro test the new strategy because if it doesn't work, I don't want to lose a lot of money. So I always micro test new strategies, and there's always a way to get around certain things. So like this one's populating, and then in about 30 minutes to an hour, it'll tell us how many people are in this audience right here. But yeah, you don't really know how many people have watched over 75. Oh, actually you do. So I forgot. So you can go into here, go to columns, customize columns. And I believe Facebook lets you do it. Scroll down. Yeah, so you can do video watches at 75%, 50%, and 95%. And then you can see, so let's just find a video that probably has some views. So yeah, so like this sound sticker right here, 25 at 50%, 16,000 at 75%, and 11,000 at 95%. So you can see the 75% and 95% are a lot closer than 50 and 75% because a lot of people end videos early. That's how you know when you have an engaging video or not, is how long people watch the video. If it's so engaging that people just can't stop until the end, then you know you have a really good video. And then you can start increasing the budget on that video from $5 to $6 to $7.20 to $8.64. But you just go into like a calculator. And then you would just do $1 times 1.2 times 1.2, 20% every time. Now that's why I like waiting until I have about a 10,000 size audience, because then I start out my ad at $3 a day, and then I increase by 20% every 48 hours as more video views are being seen on it. And then you could even duplicate that ad set, like come into here once you have some data. Oh. You can go right here and you can say duplicate, and you can duplicate this ad to, and you can just make another ad for it. It's better to only have one ad set per audience because you don't want to overlap. It's not going to have a big impact, but if you had 50 ads that were all $5 each, which is $250 a day going to the same audience, it's better to just have one $250 ad set instead of having 50 $5 ad sets. And that's one thing that I learned after I scaled, because the first time I scaled, I took a $5 ad and I duplicated it 100 times and did $500 a day. Well, it's actually more advantageous to do $500 a day because, especially on conversion ads, because whenever you do a conversion ad, let's say you have a buy ad for a conversion and you're only getting 10 buys a week, your ad set, that's not really worth it. You want to step down to an add to cart because you need to be at least be getting 25 conversions a week in order for it to actually learn. Ideally, you want about 50 to 100. So let's say each purchase costs you $5 a purchase. So this is really important too. If you're doing a conversion ad and you want to optimize for purchases, let's say each purchase costs you $5 a purchase and you're making $5 profit on each item. Well, what you want to do is you want to multiply that by 50. That means that you need, yes, because you need 50 purchases a week at $5 a purchase. That's going to roughly cost you about $250 a week in order to get the correct optimization on that ad. Then you divide by 7 for each day in the week, and that leaves you $35.71. So you want your ad set to spend about $35 a day on budget. Now, if you don't have enough money for that, or you don't want to take that big of a risk because you still have to let this ad run for 3 days in order to decide whether you want to cut it or not, especially on conversions, you got to let your conversion ads run for 3 days. PPE, you can do about 24 to 48 hours before you decide to cut them. But on a conversion ad, you got to let them go for 3 days in order for it to learn, because it's not truly optimized until it gets to that first 25 purchases. And so that's why I like starting out with view contents and add to carts, because they're cheaper and it's a lower investment. Because let's say each add to cart costs you $1.50 for an add to cart. Well, you want 50 add to carts a week, minimum 25. So that's $75 a week that you're going to need to spend in your add to cart. Well, you divide that by 7. That's $10.71 a day that you need to spend in order to get your 50 add to carts a week, so that you can have a fully optimized ad. Because sometimes spending more money actually helps on Facebook. But that's why I say just start out with $5 a day with a PPE ad, because you can get results for $5 a day on a PPE ad. Then scale to a view content ad, because a view content ad is like link clicks. So let's say you're getting link clicks for 25 cents a link click. Well, if you want 50 link clicks a week in order to get it to optimize, that's only $12.50. So you divide that by 7, that's only $1.78 a day. So you could do a view content ad at $3 or even $5 a day, and you're still going to be getting a fully optimized ad. Does that make sense, guys? I want to make sure that that makes sense. So if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I know that this can get a little confusing with the conversions and the lookalike, but it's really, really important to understand this. So another thing that I like to do is, once you get more people on your page and you get more people liking your page, more people interacting with your page, maybe once you've spent $100 of ad money, now you have page engagement. So remember, you're always building assets. So if you don't make any money your first few ads, it's okay, because it really gets powerful after you get that first 100 purchases. Because once you get 100 purchases, your pixel has enough data in order to find more purchasers, and you have page likes now, you have lookalike audiences, custom audiences that you can build. But those first 100 purchases are extremely hard to get, or those first 10,000 video views are extremely hard to get. Once you get those, once you can break through, that's when it really becomes powerful. That's why I say don't start and stop your ads. You make an ad, let it run. With one of my one-on-one students this week, we launched 15 ads and 6 ad sets. So we did 90 different ads, 90 different split tests, and we're going to let it run. Each of them are $5 a day, so that's $30 a day, and we are going to let them run for 7 days, maybe 10 days, in order to get enough data in order to make a good decision, because we got to buy the data. That's what Facebook's about. If you did a TV ad, you'd have to spend $10,000 and you wouldn't even get any data. That's just, you don't even know if your ad's going to work. So that's kind of what it is on Facebook, but it's a much lower entry. For 30 bucks, that's only 200 bucks in the week, and we have enough data in order to make a good decision. I'm already seeing that she's getting link clicks at an extremely cheap rate, and she's getting results much faster than I had anticipated. So we're already doing good on that part, but that's because we did 90 different split tests. Because I'm sure that by the end of the week, only about 10 of those are going to be working, and the other 80, we're going to stop them. And then the 10 that are working, we're going to scale them, and those are going to make up for all the bad ads that we launched. But that's how you do it. If you only launch one ad, chances are you're probably going to fail, because only 1 in about 10 ads work. So I like doing 10 ads. Now that doesn't mean that you have to do $50 a day. You can do 10 ads inside of one ad set or 2 ad sets. You can have 10 ads in one ad set, 10 ads in another ad set. That's only 10 bucks a day, $5 a budget for each ad set, and so that's 70 bucks for the week. And just like any business, this costs money to start, guys. So you have to have at least a little bit of money to start. I hope that everyone has at least about 100 bucks a week to test. Even if you just have 50 bucks a week, you can get started with that. But once you find an ad that works, you want to be able to scale that ad, even if you have to put it on your credit card to scale that ad. It's a good way to do it, because like Shopify and PayPal can start withholding some of your money. Once you start making a few $1,000s, they're only going to let you keep about 60% of your money, because in case people want refunds, they want to make sure that you're going to be able to refund them, and so they don't have to come out of their own pocket with the refund. Now, the people that ask for the refund, they still have to provide proof that they deserve the refund, and if you show like tracking numbers and items delivered, then you'll be good and they won't get the refund. But PayPal and Shopify want to be extremely careful, and that's just the way the business works. Is they'll only give you about 60 to 70% of your money when you first start. So I want to show. Oh yeah, so another custom audience that I like to build is we go into engagement and we type in Facebook page. And then we can choose everyone that's ever engaged with our page. And a lot of times the people that have engaged with our page have also bought products. So like I would always, once I had this audience, I started always testing any new products with this audience, with my custom audience of people that have already liked my page. Because if they've already liked my page, then it's a much easier to ask them again to interact with it again. Even if they're only going to like and share it and they'll never buy a product, it adds value to these posts. So you can do people who engage with your page, people who visited, post or ad, call to action, send a message. Anyone that sends a message to your page, you can retarget them. People who saved your page or any post, those are really powerful people. I like to do just people who engaged with the page, and then I always do past 180 days. Now this might be a little bit small because I haven't done this page for a while. We are Game of Thrones, page engage. Check that out. Now we have another page or another custom audience of people that engage with our page. Now I've done this audience before. It's good that you name them very specific so that you can find them later. Guess I didn't name it very specific. Huh. There we go. See, got interact page. I had 66, even though I only had 9,000 likes on my page, 66,000 people engaged with that page. So now I can take products and market them to there. Now 66,000 people isn't that much, so I would only let the product run for about 3 days. And then if it's sold to my page, then I would launch it to everyone that liked Game of Thrones. But if no one from my page buys the product that's already bought products from me, then it's probably not going to run to the bigger audience. So it's always much, much easier to get people to buy a product from you again once they've already purchased that first product. So, so yeah, this is some really powerful stuff, guys. Once you can start optimizing and getting these custom and lookalike audiences, you can really get some powerful and quick results. But you gotta, it takes that initial investment, that initial grit and the grind in order to get all this stuff to go for you. It doesn't just happen instantly. You can even do website traffic, and you can target people that anyone that added to cart, and then you can exclude people that purchased. So anyone that has added an item to your cart but didn't purchase is an abandoned cart. Then you can remarket to these people and be like, hey, you forgot an item in your cart, come back and buy that product. This is another very, very powerful custom audience right here. Or if you just wanted to remarket to people that purchase and then exit out of this one, you can also do it that way. Now, I always like to do the last 180 days because this ad, you'll probably, like a remarketing ad like the like this one, and then exclude people who added to cart or purchased. Now you have, you can let this ad run at $3 a day or $1 a day for an extremely long time. It depends on how many add to carts you have. If you only have like 100 add to carts, I would just do like $1 a day. If you have a few thousand or 10,000 or 100,000, then you can start doing $5 or $10 a day. But at this time, I think let me just make sure there's nothing else that I wanted to go over with you guys today. So we got customer file. I went over this last time. This one is the most powerful custom and lookalike audiences that you can possibly do. And then website traffic, and you can even like let's say all website visitors, and then you want to refine or visit specific web pages. You can, like, certain products, like let's say you have a general store, you can target people based on what product they went and looked at. You would just put part of the URL in right here, into the value. So go ahead and try some of this stuff yourself if you already have some assets and you've already ran some ads. I want you to try this stuff yourself and then come back to me when you have any questions, or please post them in the group if you have any questions, because this is really important stuff, guys. I know there's a lot of stuff here. The replay will be up probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. I just have to render this video after I'm done and then upload it to the members area inside Facebook. So yeah, does anyone have any questions before I get off of here? Now's your time to ask live, while I can maybe demonstrate something for you, or just a general question about Facebook ads. Thank you, Parody. Parody says that is very helpful, very good information. So I want to make sure no one else has any questions. I know that this went over my head when I first watched it, but it's really key to understand this eventually. And sometimes I always like to tell my students, try stuff yourself, because it's better to at least fail, and you might lose $5 or $10, but when you go to Starbucks, you're going to spend $5 or $10 on that cup of coffee. So what I used to always think is, do I want to go do something fun, or do I want to just spend money on ads? And so sometimes you got to invest in your success, and spending money on ads and buying some of that data, as I like to say, is sometimes the best way to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get off now. I'll get this video up as soon as possible to the members area, and then next week, let me know if you on Friday is our next scheduled webinar. So Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we will probably go over. So let me see what else we got to cover here. So we'll probably go over some other campaign objectives. I definitely want to go over conversion ads. So yeah, so next week we're going to go over all the different conversion ads. I'll probably be covering typically the add to cart, the view content, and the purchase, but they all overlap, and I know I touched on them a little bit today about optimization. But next week we will go over, or Friday I should say, we'll go over the conversion campaign objective, which is extremely, extremely powerful, and I want you guys to understand that. And then probably next Monday we'll cover the affinity scores a little bit more and delve more deep into that, because I know I've done a lot of that on my free promos, but I want to cover that in a little bit more depth and go over just the audience insights more, because I know there's a lot of stuff in the audience insights that you can do. And then on the next Monday after that, so um, I'm sorry, on the next Friday after that, so Friday, December 22nd, what we will probably go over is we will touch on, we'll just kind of do like an overview of everything and answer any questions that anyone has, and kind of do like a refresher course and like a crash course on everything now that I've done a lot of the big bulky stuff, and then kind of just maybe launch some ads with some of the techniques that we've learned. And again, if you have any examples that you want me to use in the group, just let me know, and I'll use your example as one of my next lessons. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off here, guys. I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait for Friday. Yeah, post any questions to the group that you have questions to. Thank you, guys. Talk to you later.